beside her car the other day.
7:30, we'll call our regular city council meeting of October 3rd to order. Let's stand and pledge the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All individuals are asked to either silence or turn off all cell phones, pagers, and other electronic devices that may disrupt the meeting. Approval of the agenda. Approve the agenda as posted in accordance with the open meeting law, and herein place all agenda items on the table for discussion. What's the wish of the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Knopfler, second by Councilmember Liljegren. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the agenda. Approve the agenda as posted. Did I just say that one?
Yes, Madam President.
Approval of the minutes. Special work session meeting of September 19th, 2022. The regular meeting of September 19th, 22. Approve. What's the wish of the council?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Storley, second by Mayor Zilka. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval of the bills. Checks 10519 through 107584 totaling $318,000. No, wait, $318,097.12. What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second. Okay.
Motion by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Goshek. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Awards, donations, presentations, and proclamations, we have none. Consent agenda, Morrison County Attorney's Prosecution Report, July and August 2022 receive. Personnel Policy 29, Meals and Mileage, amend, approve. Public Works Report, August 2022 receive. What is the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Goshek, second by Councilmember Knopfler. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same, opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. Public hearings and lettings. Fall leaf and brush collection, Bob Lemire roll-offs and refuse and recycling. Award, Finance Officer.
Thank you, Council President. The city requested quotations for fall and leaf brush collection. We received 2 quotations, one from Bob Lemire at $4,198, one from City Sanitary Commercial at $4,495. So the apparent low was Bob Lemire. Scheduled for Saturday, October 29th, and they will be leaving the emptied bags. Resident notices will be sent out on October 20th with utility bills. We will also be publishing in the Morrison County Record and the website and social media platforms. So we are requesting that we award the low quotation for Bob Lemire roll-offs. That will be held on October 29th.
What is the wish of the council?
I'll move to award the leaf and brush collection to Lemire roll-offs.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Storley, second by Mayor Zilka. Any discussion?
Must have made too much last year, I see.
It's a little bit less this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Intersection control evaluation, Bolton and Menk, Trunk Highway 27 and 18th Street East. Award.
take that one for him, Council President. He's out tonight. The ICE study through Bolton and Mank is on 18th Street and the intersection of Trunk Highway 27. The Department of Transportation is looking at a project there in 2028, so some proposed improvements. And Greg wanted to make sure that we evaluated that intersection and looking at all alternatives that might be effective in trying to encourage and get those into the plans for MnDOT. If you know anything about MnDOT, and they're usually planning out major improvements many, many years in advance. So, you know, while it seems a long ways away, 2028, it's something that we really want to make sure that we have on the radar, that we're hopeful and considering anything for that intersection. As Greg indicated to me, the controlled right has some issues sometimes in its effectiveness and whether or not it's working too.
What is the wish of the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Knopfler, second by Councilman Hanson. Any discussion?
Just, is there anybody out there that thinks that intersection is just fine the way it is?
Potential roundabout.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Phase 1 Environmental Assessment and HUD Partner Worksheets. Landmark Environmental LLC Child Care Facility Award. City Administrator.
Thank you, Council President. As discussed in the work session, this is the Phase 1 environmental and environmental review that is required by HUD for this work. If something were to happen and we do not are not moving forward with the school, I do believe we would have the means to amend this work and find an alternate location. However, it does take an estimated 6 weeks to have this completed, and we do need to have things turned into HUD by the end of this year in order to receive our grant funds.
What is the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve that. Go ahead with it. Second.
Motion by Councilman Goshek and second by Mayor Zilka. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Refuse Services, Bob Lemire Roloff's Refuse and Recycling City Facilities Award.
Thank you, Council President. Our current 2-year contract with Bob Lemire Roloffs expires on October 31st, so we requested quotations, and we received 2, one from Bob Lemire for $8,394.75, one from City Sanitary for $9,014.85. So we are requesting to award the low quotation to Bob Lemire Roloffs for a 2-year period beginning November 1st.
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by, I'm all tongue-tied. Motion by Councilman Liljegren, second by Councilman Knopfler. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Old business. Enterprises Fleet Management Agreements postponed from 9/19/22. Approve. John?
Thank you, Council President. As discussed in the work session, our city attorney had the opportunity to review all the agreements in full and has indicated to me that it's satisfactory and all the areas with the exception of the consignment and assignment sale of the vehicles through Enterprise. We do have a proposed amendment and alternative with them to do that. It would then subsequently looking to make an ordinance amendment for the city as well to authorize that. But I do not feel that would impact the timeliness that we have on the plans for these vehicles and what we have in the order process and what we need to be getting done in the order process to help this agreement come to fruition and see the total costs and benefits of it. Because it really truly is something that it's going to take time to really see it all come into fruition. It isn't just an immediate, okay, we're moving forward, and this is, here's the money we're getting back, and here's the savings that we have. But it is the long-term life of the vehicles, and the biggest thing to us that I see as a challenge is the ordering and getting vehicles here in a timely manner. We've had 3 vehicles. I point to Greg that he's been waiting on for almost probably a year in terms of getting order. If we miss order windows with our the contract prices that the dealers have with the state, we may not get in, and we may not have that vehicle until the next order window, which usually only comes up once a year. Those types of things are going to be a really strong benefit to us in the acquisition and timeliness in those acquisitions of the vehicles, as well as the cost savings that we have in maintenance. And we know we push our fleet vehicles, especially in the police department, well past their useful life. Those vehicles go through a lot. They may not have the mileage, but they have the hours, and they have hard miles and hours as they need to. I mean, it's just important that's an extension of the officer's ability to do their work and protect and serve in our community. And I believe as well that offers us the opportunity to put the best, safest, most efficient tool at their ready for all of those officers and sergeants to make sure that they can do their job. So if Alyssa, you can advise us again as we proceed in this motion, what element that you want stated and how you want it addressed in terms of getting that city attorney approval to execute the consignment assignment of the vehicles.
Thank you, John. Council President, council members, at this point I would suggest that the motion be made to approve the agreement subsequent to city attorney editing and approval.
And you want...
what we would be looking for here, if you wish, we can discuss the waiting on the consignment one, but at this point, it certainly is appropriate to simply authorize the appropriate people to have the agreement taken care of upon city attorney approval.
Do you want this pursuant to a change in the city ordinance as well?
If you would like to, Council President, if you would like to do so for the consignment agreement specifically, yes, you can set that one aside and do that one with the pursuant to the change in statute. Otherwise, or ordinance, otherwise I will simply not approve that one until there is a change in ordinance.
I don't.
What is the wish?
Council President, just real quick before we get a motion, I don't know that if we have, if our motion includes language that's gonna address an ordinance, I don't know if that's gonna work, because you're gonna be looking to move forward on this contract, and we're not gonna have an ordinance change in front of us for another month.
Yeah, there's like 6 different agreements here. So, I mean, they're not all contingent upon one another. They're all separate agreements that have their own sign dates, elements in there. It's, as Alyssa said, she wouldn't approve that consignment agreement until our ordinance is in place and we can actually effectively use it the way the agreement would state it could be used. So, right now,
Okay.
our ordinances don't allow us to
Right, and then the next question, and this didn't pop into my mind when we were in the work session, but Alyssa can educate me on this, but it would seem to me, aren't we operating within the parameters of what we're supposed to do if we're actioning a contract? I mean, part of this contract is we're going to enter this agreement, which we can do, and part of this agreement is this is how we're going to rid ourselves of these other vehicles. So aren't we kind of overcomplicating this? That's just how it appears to me, that if this is part of the contract, then to me, we should be in good shape. Because we're saying this is what we're going to do as part of this contract.
Change the ordinance as part of the contract?
No, forget about changing the ordinance. We're actioning this contract, which just happens to include disposal of vehicles.
Council President, the issue here is that in order for a city to enter into a contract under Minnesota state law, the city has to have the authority to act under its own ordinances and state law with all provisions that are within the contract. And so because we have that disconnect between what is in the city ordinance right now and what is in the agreement cannot be approved until that ordinance is changed. Otherwise, for example, there could be any kind of ordinance could be sidestepped by a simple contracting issue. And so for that reason, we will have to change the ordinance, but in the meantime, I get your point, and this one is a very confusing one, because while the city has the ability to sign the one that talks about allowing enterprise to sell the vehicles that are leased but not owned by the city. This is very specific to the city provision in both the charter and in the ordinance about things that the city holds as chattel, and that they have title to, in this case, are over $1,000. So because of that, there will need to be the ordinance change.
Well, then, in my opinion, we need the ordinance change anyway, because every time if we trade in a lawnmower and we get $4,500 trade-in, it's the same as this.
Madam President, but I think what we're looking at right now is approving the contract as it is, but other than the consignment part of it, which we're putting on hold until it's signed off by the city attorney, and if the city attorney signs off on that, then that becomes effective, correct?
Okay, what is the wish of the council?
Council President, may I please address that momentarily just for clarification?
Sure, thank you.
There will be changes, but they're minor changes to the other agreements that specifically address issues of venue and data practices and those types of what we usually consider to be standard provisions that are in Minnesota government contracts, but rarely in any other contract. So all of them are pursuant to city attorney approval.
Okay, let's try it again. What is the wish of the council?
I will move to approve the Enterprise Fleet Management Agreement when the city attorney approves the agreement.
Second.
Motion by Council Member Storley, second by Council Member Hanson. Any discussion?
Yes, the way I heard it right now, it means once that second agreement is in place as far as getting rid of the vehicles, then it becomes, when we agree to it, isn't it supposed to be stated more like the portion that has nothing to do with getting rid of the vehicles until that's taken care of?
Council President, I believe Alyssa stated, and you can add to this, Alyssa, but that she wouldn't approve that piece until our ordinance is in place. She'd approve all the others contingent upon the small changes that she had, but that piece wouldn't get approved until the ordinance is in place, which would allow us to execute that agreement.
The way it sounded to me, it's going to be approved right now. Everything will go through when that takes place, but just to be clear.
Council President and council members, John is correct there. Basically, there will have to be 2 rounds of approval. The first round of approval will be everything except for the consignment agreement for customer-owned vehicles. The rest of the agreements, because there are actually 6 of them here, are required to put in the order for vehicles. The orders have to be done sooner rather than later, which is the reason for moving forward with those approvals and actually signing off on those before there's a change overall in the ordinance. And then since the city doesn't have the ability legally to enter into an agreement like the consignment agreement, which is the one we're kind of pulling out and treating separately until after the ordinance is changed, I would not approve that until that was changed, which in some ways makes sense because the city would not be in a place to sell any vehicles that it currently owns until such time as they can be provided with replacements from Enterprise Fleet Management, which would there be a lag there. So that's why there would be the 2 staff involved.
Everybody clear on that?
As long as it's in the minutes.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries.
That was easy.
New business, item A, personnel. Employment agreement amendment and position description update. Human Resources Director. Do you want to take this, Annie?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Council members, so in review of all of our job descriptions and placements, the Human Resources Director position should be a salary-based position rather than an hourly, which it is currently. I believe it was changed prior to my coming here due to the previous staff member. So we want to change that back to being a salaried position. So then I wouldn't be, the Human Resources Director wouldn't be earning overtime and comp pay. Tongue-tied. It'll stay at a grade 12. The only thing that needs to be updated in the job description itself is the FLSA status to be exempt. So that is what we are looking for approval on this evening.
What is the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Council Member Knopfler. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Heritage Preservation Commission recommendations, loans,
Nope.
grants.
Forgot one.
Miss one? Oh, I did, sorry. Change orders, 1 and 2. J.R. Furchy Excavating, Inc., Public Improvement, 396, approve.
I'll take that one again, Council President. The change orders 1 and 2 for the 11th Street project. The first one is just the tolling agreement that we'd worked on that's been addressed. All those items have been subsequently completed. And then the change order 2 dealt with some areas mostly on subgrade and the installation of the sidewalk. Some of that was settling, it was soft and needed to be replaced. So those issues have been addressed as well. So just looking for the approval on that change order, both change orders.
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve change orders 1 and 2 to the public improvement 396.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Liljegren. Any discussion?
Change order 2, that's nothing that was required by Furchy to do prior to the sidewalk?
That was correcting sidewalk that was installed. That, I believe the subgrade was soft, and so that original sidewalk they put in needed to get corrected.
Were they required to put in a better subgrade before the installation of the sidewalk? Is this something that maybe they're liable for?
That's what I was wondering.
If I may, this 11th Street Northeast project, we need to get this behind us.
Okay. I'm just curious about that.
I believe he was, I don't know specifically on that we didn't address that, but I know why he waited to address this because we're working on some grant items and this wasn't an eligible expense in the grant reimbursement.
But if he put in subgrade material under the sidewalk, why do we have to pay for it again? Why isn't that his responsibility?
It's $8,500. We had the tolling agreement. Do you think we're going to get $8,500 out of this company?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, new business continued. Heritage Preservation Commission recommendations, loans, grants, accept, approve. Hannah?
Thank you, Council President. So the HPC has worked to help business owners in the downtown area improve their properties. And so the commission recommends the approval of these loans. So for 2022, we have 3 loans so far that need approval. The first loan is Max Stewart, which is the US Bank Plaza. The amount of the loan is up to $18,000, which includes a $10,800 loan, a $5,400 deferred loan, and $1,800 of owner equity. The second one is Spear Chiropractic for up to $38,175, of which $22,905 would be a loan, $11,453 would be deferred, and $3,817 would be owner. And then the third and final one right now is Great River Arts for up to $20,358. $12,214 of that would be a loan, $6,107 would be deferred, and $2,037 would be owner. And also the HPC does require a facade easement as part of the program. So right now we are just asking that the council accepts the recommendation of the HPC to authorize the loan agreements with the maximum funds as listed above.
What is the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Liljegren, second by Councilmember Storley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. City Council reports on city authorities, boards, bureaus, commissions, and committees. Mayor, did you have something?
Yes, I did. Hopefully this is acceptable. It has to do with Beyond the Yellow Ribbon of Morrison County. I know we have veterans at this table. I know we have service members that are family members, people in this room. And I've been on the Yellow Ribbon since its inception in Morrison County. This came out from the president, Matt LeBlanc. And I'd like to share some things with the board in the community, council in the community. There are a couple efforts that the Yellow Ribbon is looking to facilitate as we continue to heighten awareness of those deployed away from their families, any from our communities, as Veterans Day approaches. The first is Operation Green Light. Tomorrow, the county board will likely pass proclamation supporting this effort. A green porch light is a symbol of appreciation for U.S. military veterans. Though some people may leave a green porch light on year-round to express their support, many choose to use the color bulbs around Veterans Day, which is celebrated on November 11th. Our hope is to have the green light displayed throughout October until at least November 13th. Yellow Ribbon Network, Morrison County has purchased 180 green light bulbs, which are being distributed. You can pick them up at the American Legion Post, VFW Post, our Veterans Service Office, Morrison County, and the Randall VFW. I'm asking the cities of Morrison County to consider displaying a green light in front of your office building to show your support during this time. The second is a display of yellow ribbons. Yellow ribbons became a symbol of support during the 2003 Iraq invasion, as well as the deployment of troops to Afghanistan and other countries around the world. Yellow ribbons continue to be a symbol of support for our troops. They can be displayed by those waiting for the return of a loved one who is serving, or by anyone who supports the troops. Yellow Ribbon is looking to purchase yellow ribbons to distribute to cities in Morrison County. They'd like to know if we'd be interested, and that's all I have. It's not only the fact of the people that have served and are serving from our staff and the people sitting at this table, not me, and but for the proximity of Camp Ripley and all the veterans that we have throughout the community. So I'd like to see the city be able to participate this, at least with the green bulb, and then we'll stay posted on the yellow ribbons. That's all I have. Thank you.
Does anyone have any announcements? Okay, we're going to adjourn to our closed meeting pursuant Minnesota Statute Chapter 13D.03 to development labor negotiations strategy, and also to evaluate the performance of the city administrator.
Is that your phone, Frank?
Council President,
Yes.
those two motions should be taken separately.
Okay, so I need a motion to close to 13D.03.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Council Member Knopfler, second by Council Member Storley. Any discussion? All in
And just point of clarification, we do intend to just adjourn after these closed sessions. We won't take any other further action other than to make the motion go into the second closed session. So
Okay.
there wouldn't be any need to stay in attendance.
Okay. So, and should this other motion be made right now too, while we're still in open meeting?
No. No,
Okay.
you'll,
Council President, you will come out of the first closed session and then immediately motion to go into the second closed session.
Okay. All right. All in favor of the first closed session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we are adjourned to our first closed session.